Hey everybody, it's Craig here, and I wanted to go over the grip hoist with you quickly so you can kind of pull it out and get familiar with it before we actually go down back and do some training on it within the next couple of weeks. So contents of the kit, this is the grip hoist unit itself. It is actually rated for 4,000 pounds of vertical lift, but if you're dragging something along the ground, it's actually rated for 8,000 pounds. Reason for that is it kind of grips very similar to your hands, and if it's vertical, it's actually rated for less. But horizontal is actually rated again for 8,000 pounds total. The cable itself is rated for 20,000 pounds. So if you're using a snatch block to double the pull force of the grip hoist or even almost triple it, you are somewhat safe. Speaking of snatch blocks, contents of the kit, it does come with one snatch block that is actually rated for this grip hoist. We can also use the ones that we have in the rescue squad already. These are rated for 1/2-inch cable. This is 7/16, so they are fully compatible. So either snatch block will actually work. A little more contents of the kit. We have a 6-foot sling down there that is actually wrapped around the pole right now for demonstration purposes. And you can see on the floor right here, we also have a 9-foot sling, and there is a 6-foot sling with a choker hook on it. Choker hook may be handy actually, again, if you're hitching up to another one of these snatch blocks or something that actually needs to be able to slip through the cable rather than actually through a hook. We also have the handle, which does expand, by the way, and it will twist and lock in place if I can get it to the right spot. So the handle, when you're engaging it on the grip hoist, has this, I don't know if you can see it, there's a very small little cutout, and it will go over whichever one you're putting on, and you spin it, and then it retains the handle. So that's a little bit about the handle. Now, the grip hoist is going to be loaded on the rescue squad, meaning the cable will be in it all the time. And when you get to it, it will likely have the release like this. So basically the cable travels freely through there right now. So in the event we need to use it, chances are that hook will be all the way to the machine. This will be released. The cable will be wound up in the tire that you see there on the floor. And then we will be able to just take cable out of the tire as needed to stretch the grip hoist out to the length that we need to use it. So when we need to actually put it into service, there's a little bit of a release here on the other side. I have to push in to get this handle to go back down in the engaged position. All right, now the cable's engaged, I can no longer freely pull it. Depends which direction you want to go with the grip hoist. So unlike a regular come along, this can actually extend the cable out, or it can actually pull it back in. It depends which handle you use. So I'm not going to put the long handle on, I'm just going to use my hand. But as you can see, this is actually making the cable go out when I grab this handle, in both directions, by the way. The cable will go out. If I want to bring the cable back in, it's just simply put the handle on the other, and as you notice, that is now coming back in. So it's actually really super easy to use. One feature on here, by the way, if you're pulling it in and you happen to be pulling with too much force on this handle, there are some roll pins in here. You'll take a look at them. You'll see them when you're taking a look at it closely. 3 roll pins. They're actually designed to shear if you're putting too much pressure on the grip hoist so you don't load it too much. In the top of this handle right here, underneath that black cap, there are some spare shear pins. So if you ever damage it in the field and need to fix it quickly, there's some shear pins in there. The other thing that may happen to the grip hoist is that once in a while, it'll lack lubrication. And those little, again, picture those little hands in there kind of gripping that cable. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of motor oil in the grip hoist here. When you use it, like when you're bringing it back in, try to just dump a little bit down in the machine. And also they're saying to leave a little bit of motor oil on the length of the cable, again, to preserve the cable and to make sure that it has a little bit of lubrication when those little hands are actually squeezing on there. You can dump oil in there, it's not going to affect the way those hands squeeze. You're actually supposed to have oil in that cable so it'll lubricate those little fingers in there on those hands. And the last thing I want to show you is the way that we need to wrap that cable in order to make it spool out correctly. So if we just did a continuous wrap on the cable, when you go to pull the tire, you would end up with a bunch of bad loops in there that you don't want. So what we need to do is actually, we'll bring it around conventionally once, and then we'll have to spin it so it's actually loaded under. See how I have it loaded under there? For the next one, put that inside the tire here. All right, next one will be normal. And the next one, I'm going to actually spin it under again. So now that is under, you see it? So what that will do, and I'll just kind of demonstrate it here before we end the video, once I'm grabbing this tire, if the grip hoist is hitched up, for instance, I need to take it out, I can simply just walk back with it, and the cable does not get any kinks when it deploys. So I hope all of that makes sense. I'd like you to all take it out of the bin there, the rescue squad, and take a look at all the stuff that came with it, play around with the grip hoist a little bit, and we'll do some practical stuff out back in a couple weeks. Thanks a lot.